This is part 2 of the fracturing article. Sustainable development is inseparable from social equity and institutional resilience. Armed conflict destabilizes both. Disruption of transportation corridors complicates medical logistics. The closure of airspace affects not only passenger travel, but also cargo transport, including pharmaceuticals and medical equipment. Street notes that aircraft and crew have been stranded across affected regions, illustrating how civilian systems are directly entangled in military escalation. Public health systems depend on reliable electricity, transportation networks, and secure supply chains. Infrastructure damage and airspace closures increase delivery times for medical goods. In conflict zones, hospitals face energy instability and equipment shortages. The social pillar of sustainability, ensuring basic health and welfare, erodes under such strain. Escalating hostilities risk civilian displacement within and across borders. Neighboring states such as Jordan, Iraq, Turkey, and Gulf nations must prepare for potential refugee inflows. Displacement increases demand for housing, water, food, education, and healthcare services. The Brundtland Report emphasized that poverty and environmental degradation reinforce one another. Prolonged displacement interrupts education, reduces labor market participation, and increases long-term dependency ratios. Intergenerational equity, the central normative principle of sustainable development, is compromised when children's education and health outcomes deteriorate due to conflict. The Middle East relies heavily on imported food commodities. Shipping disruptions, insurance premium increases, and logistical bottlenecks raise food prices. Al Jazeera has reported concerns regarding supply chain strain and food cost volatility amid regional escalation. Food insecurity disproportionately affects low-income populations and may intensify social unrest. Conflict thus operates as a food system stressor with regional implications. Sustainable development requires resilient food systems. War destabilizes them. Modern economies are deeply interconnected. Armed conflict in a central geopolitical corridor produces cascading financial consequences. Street reports that war risk insurance premiums increase when conflict escalates. Airlines must incorporate higher operational costs, including fuel, insurance, and crew repositioning. Although immediate fare hikes may not occur, sustained disruption compels airlines to recover costs over time. The Middle East functions as a high-capacity transit bridge linking continents. When that bridge is compromised, tourism flows decline, business travel is disrupted, and cargo networks fragment. These effects extend beyond the primary conflict states to global aviation markets. Escalation increases defense spending among involved in neighboring states. Public funds are redirected from education, renewable energy infrastructure, climate adaptation, and social programs toward military preparedness. The International Monetary Fund has consistently observed that conflict reduces GDP growth and increases public debt. The opportunity cost of defense expenditure is a direct sustainability loss. Investments that could enhance long-term resilience are postponed or abandoned altogether. The Brundtland Commission framed sustainable development as an intergenerational obligation. Fiscal diversion toward warfare compromises that obligation. Oil fluctuations, stock market responses, and sovereign risk repricing reflect investor uncertainty. Global financial systems depend on predictable governance environments. Escalation in a strategically central region increases risk premiums worldwide. Economic sustainability requires stability. Prolonged conflict undermines the conditions necessary for long-term investment and sustainable growth. Carson's ecological perspective and Brundtland's integrative sustainability framework converge on a key insight. Environmental, social, and economic systems are interdependent. Armed conflict disrupts that interdependence. The quote, hole in the sky, unquote, described by Street is emblematic, and it reflects 1, increased carbon emissions from rerouted flights, 2, stranded infrastructure and labor, 3, heightened insurance risk, 4, financial volatility, and 5, supply chain fragmentation. Conflict operates as a negative sustainability feedback loop. Environmental damage exacerbates economic strain intensifies social instability perpetuates geopolitical tension. Sustainable development requires cooperative governance and long-term planning. War substitutes short-term strategic calculus for intergenerational stewardship. The escalating confrontation involving Iran, Israel, and the United States demonstrates that sustainability and security are structurally interdependent. Environmental degradation, social displacement, and economic volatility are not collateral side effects of conflict. They are intrinsic consequences. Airspace closures, energy market instability, food system vulnerability, and fiscal diversion collectively illustrate how modern warfare regresses sustainable development. The sustainability implications extend beyond principal actors to neighboring states and global systems. If sustainable development is defined by the protection of future generations' capacity to thrive, then prolonged conflict constitutes a direct breach of that principle. The preservation of environmental integrity, social cohesion, and economic resilience depends upon geopolitical stability. The hole in the sky is not merely an aviation anomaly. It is a visible fracture in the architecture of sustainability.